at practice. Everybody getting into the act. Durant fires for three. Got it! Got it! Here's Thompson for three. Shot by Steph Curry.
Well, the top of Sekou Smith's MVP ladder hasn't changed in a while. However, there's a new face in the mix from one of the hottest teams in the league. Is it too late for Anthony Davis to come out with the award? Here's Sekou Smith to break it down.
Timing is everything in this season's chase for the coveted Kia MVP award. Time is also of the essence in this season's chase for the NBA's most prestigious individual award. And time, or better yet the lack thereof, is on the side of the frontrunner, Houston's James Harden, with 6 weeks left in the campaign season. Sure, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, all Kia MVPs, lead a robust field that will give chase until the final buzzer of the regular season. And there are special players like New Orleans Pelicans All-Star Anthony Davis, who is currently on a one-man rampage, sans his injured All-Star frontcourt mate Boogie Cousins, poised to make a late charge. But Davis's effort might be exactly that, too late to catch Harden and the other stars who've been at the top of the list all season. Harden impressed early, often, and has never let up.
Harden with an up and under. And he's good. Yeah, he is.
The best player on what could very well end up being the best team at the end of the regular season is also riding the wave of the best narrative, which has always been a factor in any MVP race.
Goal! James Harden is the new scoring one-game champion for the Houston Rockets.
Harden, twice a runner-up in the past 3 seasons, is the pilot of the most consistently ferocious offensive machine in the league. Adding a fellow superstar in Chris Paul has only served to highlight Harden's brilliance and show off that he's more than a one-dimensional scoring machine. The NBA scoring leader this season, Harden also ranks 3rd in assists, the only player in the league to register in the top 3 in those 2 categories. So finally, the complicated MVP metric is working in Harden's favor. The only question is whether or not his substantial lead will hold off the supercharged field over a wild final 6 weeks. LeBron's the only other player in the league to rank in the top 5 in both scoring and assists, and the 4-time Kia MVP is doing something perhaps only he can do in adjusting to a completely revamped team since the trade deadline, while still being the prohibitive favorite in the eyes of most to come out on top in the Eastern Conference playoffs. If LeBron goes on a monster run in the coming weeks, he could turn up the pressure on Harden in this MVP race. The Warriors superstar duo of Durant and Curry have taken turns all season, showing off why they're worthy of the MVP hardware, and even with the Warriors looking like mere mortals this season, Durant and Curry have remained standouts.
Durant lays it up and in.
Got by Rivers, good if it goes.
Even if they were to split votes in the final tally, and they inevitably will, there's no way you can exclude either one of the Warriors superstars from the discussion. And the same goes for Westbrook, Boston's Kyrie Irving, Toronto's DeMar DeRozan, and Milwaukee's Giannis Antetokounmpo. But Davis offers perhaps the most intriguing challenge of all to Harden's position in these final weeks of the season. He was on the fringe of the MVP debate while he and DeMarcus Cousins were busy putting up crazy individual numbers, and the Pelicans were scratching and clawing their way to stay in the Western Conference playoff picture. When Cousins went down with the torn Achilles on January 26th, many assumed the Pelicans' playoff hopes went down with him. And the Pelicans lost 5 of their first 6 games without Boogie and the Brow working together. But something has clicked for Davis since then.
On the spin, AD hard to the hole.
He's been on a tear recently, reintroducing himself as one of the truly elite players in the game during the Pelicans' resurgence. He's carrying them to a possible top 4 spot in a volatile Western Conference playoff chase.
He's been putting up historic numbers. Witness the comeback win over Phoenix when Davis finished with 53 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 blocks.
Hall of Famer Bob McAdoo is the only other player to put up numbers such as these. Keep this up, and Davis's timing down the stretch run of this MVP race could prove to be perfect.
So we heard Sekou Smith put it out there that it's still alive, it's still an open MVP race. What would it take for Anthony Davis or even LeBron James to jump in and surpass James Harden as the MVP this season?
We talked about it during the break. Maybe an injury, So let's knock on wood. But James has had an unbelievable year. AD's coming on like gangbusters. Giannis absolutely having a terrific year. But James has been second now, I think, twice. And he's poised to take home the MVP, I think, this year.
I mean, you look at what James Harden has done. It's not just the numbers that he's putting up, but you got to understand they have the best record in the NBA. Also, look at all the talk when they added Chris Paul. Now everybody's talking about, well, he's got Chris Paul on his team. Wait a minute. All the people are saying those two guys can play together. Yeah. I can go down a long list of people who talked about the MVP, and they talked about James Harden was too selfish to share the basketball with Chris Paul. And then third, look at the flair in which he's doing it. Yeah. Rex, he's doing things to players that only the great one in our era did, Michael Jordan.
He licked his lips.
Oh, my God. Not only is he scoring, not only is he having assists, he's doing it with style, and he's basically embarrassing guys on his way. And I'm not saying he's doing it intentionally, but his game is so defined right now. Look, AD has crept into the conversation. LeBron is always LeBron, KD, but to me, it's James Harden award to lose.
So, Sam, one thing you pointed out is record, right? You look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're struggling in that category, and LeBron James had a bad January. But the rest of the season, he's someone that should be heavily considered for the MVP candidacy. So what would it take for LeBron to get in the first place and to win the MVP award?
Well, look, LeBron's always in the conversation, but again, yeah, they not only have to win, and I understand the team is changing all that stuff, but so has Houston. Look,
is third in the East good enough?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But especially when you look at what Houston doing, this is not about what LeBron James is not doing. It's more so about what James Harden is doing. To take nothing away from LeBron James, he's still the best individual player in the league. That's LeBron James. But when you look at this season and last season, combine those 2 years, what James Harden has done, and in the manner in which they've done it, and then he's transformed not only his game, but his team game. They're playing defense, they're moving the ball. All the things people said James Harden couldn't do, he's now doing.
Let's get back to Kentucky.
Yeah.
What about Anthony Davis? I know technically he's fifth there, but I mean, he's having a strong push these last 7-8 games.
Absolutely. Real quick to piggyback on this, I just think that LeBron he's a product of being so good. He sort of gets screwed every year because we played against Shaq, we played against Michael. Those guys could have won it every single year. So he's just so good he gets overlooked. AD, though, he's still young. He's coming on strong, continues to get better. We said it just a second ago. All I need from AD, I just need him to stay healthy the rest of the year. Go through these playoffs, get a good postseason under your belt, and then, his whole thing, though, is being able, can you keep him on the floor night after night?
Absolutely.
I mean, if he averages close to 40 points and 15 rebounds down this final stretch, we have to take him seriously.
Yes.
Right?